Okay, we're
Hi,
recording.
Amy.
Hi.
I'm glad you could make it in today.
Yeah, I mean, my PO told me I needed to come.
How are things going since our last session?
Um, I mean, they're okay. My mom, she just keeps yelling at me, and I just want to have my girlfriend over, and she complains about my girlfriend, and it's just annoying.
So you and your mother are still having problems?
Yeah.
Have you tried talking to her about any of it?
She won't talk. She just yells. So I just sit there in silence until she stops yelling.
You just sit in silence.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something more positive you think you could do instead of just sitting in silence to maybe interact with her and make things go a little smoother between the two of you?
I mean, I don't know. When I was in placement, we participated in family therapy and things were really good. And she was really open to all of the things the therapist there asked for us to do. But since we've been home, she hasn't done any of those things. She's just back to yelling at me all the time. And I'm too old for my mom to be yelling at me. Like, that's getting ridiculous.
So that makes you feel really bad. Does it just make you feel like a kid or something? Like she's treating you like you're a child?
Yeah, yeah.
So how are things going with your treatment groups? Are you still attending
Um,
twice a week?
no. And that's why my PO yelled at me. Um, I haven't been for a few weeks. He violated my probation and I told him I'd get back on track, but
Right.
I haven't been back yet.
When are you scheduled to go back?
Well, I was supposed to go to group yesterday and I didn't. I didn't get up in time.
Well, what's going to happen if you don't go to group on time? If you don't show up?
Um, I mean, eventually I'm probably going to have another violation. But I don't know. I don't know.
Right. Well, what can we do to get you motivated back to going back into treatment into your groups? What are the positive things of going to group? What are the positive aspects of that?
I mean, the Saturday group I really like, but it's Saturday. Like, who wants to go to group on a Saturday? Um, I just want him to tell me what how much time I need to do in jail, and I don't even want to be bothered with it anymore. I just want to get off probation. So I don't know.
So you think jail would be better than being on probation?
I mean, it's not, but at this point, I don't know how long probation's going to last. At least if they just sentence me to time in jail, I know when it ends.
What is one step you think you can take that will help you towards going to your groups and staying on probation and not violating it and ended up back in jail?
I mean, things were okay before I got my first violation, meeting with you guys, and then, my case manager. I mean, things weren't really that bad. Um, at least I wasn't, doing anything to get in trouble. Now I feel like I just screwed everything up.
Why do you feel like you've screwed everything up? Do you feel like you can't fix things? I mean,
Kinda. I mean, I my mom's mad at me all the time. I relapsed. Um, and I was clean for over a year, so that's kind of a big deal. Now I just sort of feel kind of hopeless because that was a lot of work, and I really know, and I knew, and I still know that using is not helpful to me in any way. And now I'm not only using marijuana, but I'm drinking, and I just started using ecstasy, so now it's even worse.
well, what happened before you relapsed? What caused that relapse, do you feel like? Was there like a anything in particular that happened that made you use again?
Well, I was on electronic monitoring for 30 days after getting out of the placement, and it was just really stressful, only being allowed out of the house for treatment groups. in school. And so I got a little bit of opportunity to leave the house once I got off of EMU and ran into some old friends, and just it just was nice to have that sense of freedom, and thought I would just kind of do it that one day, and one day turned into I didn't come home for like a week. So
Well, when you came off of your high, how did that make you feel?
what, relapsing or
Like when you relapsed and you were over your high from that relapse, how did you feel afterwards?
I felt terrible because I know that my brother died from a heroin overdose like just a little over 6 months ago, and I don't want my mom to have to go through that again. But then I start thinking about and then that makes me want to use because I don't want to think about it.
So you're using that as a coping mechanism?
Yeah, because I stopped taking my meds that I was taking in the placement, and I don't want to take meds. I don't like them. I don't like how they make me feel. But now I just don't have like real positive thoughts, and I just don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. So using helps me forget about it.
Well, have you considered getting back on your meds?
No, I don't
You
want to.
don't want to?
Nope.
Well, what about your personal goals of wanting to graduate high school and find a job?
I
Have you
mean, I
thought
got a
about
job for like a couple days, and then I just stopped going. Um, I don't know. School, I was doing really well for a while, and then I don't know. I just don't really want to be bothered with any of it anymore. I mean, I want those things. I still do. I just don't really want to do anything to make sure they happen. I don't know.
what are some things that we can do to motivate you? Is there anything that makes you want to go back to school or work towards getting a job and staying clean?
Um, I mean, I do want to get off probation, and I do want to stop fighting with my mom, and I want to do all the things that I told her I would do. Um,
Well, that sounds like you want to do everything because of your mother, but what about for your, what do you want to do for you?
I don't know. I don't want to end up like either of my brothers. I don't want to end up in jail, and I don't want to die from drugs.
Right. No, definitely not. What is one step you think you can take, like a positive step, towards reaching your goals?
I honestly just don't even know right now.
You don't know. Have you considered trying to get clean again?
Yeah, I'd like
Like
to,
to.
but I don't know. I just I like the feeling.
You like the feeling?
I only really want to stop using just so I can get off probation.
Well, if you continue using, are you going to be able to get off probation?
No.
Well, maybe that should be one of your motivators. Maybe you should think of that when you're using or thinking about using to stop yourself. Or think
Yeah.
about the negative consequences. What's going to happen to me if I continue using? Do you have
Yeah.
anyone you can talk to when you start feeling that way?
No. All my friends use, and they're on probation and aren't getting in trouble. So I don't know why I'm the only one getting in trouble.
So you're the only one out of all of your group of friends, the only one getting in trouble?
Mhm.
Well, I have this FBA observation form. It's an ABC chart that I would like for you to try. Could you do this
Okay.
like in between sessions maybe? It's where
Yeah.
you write down like your setting description and the description of your behavior. You write down the time, and you can do this more than once. Like you can do it for like a week straight or whatever. It has like a big space there, and then the antecedents, the behaviors, and the consequences of your behaviors. And maybe if you can keep like a record of that, you can look back at that when you're not using and think about what those behaviors, what kind of problems those behaviors are causing you. Are those like causing negative problems, or is it helping you in any way?
Yeah.
You
I mean,
do
I'll give it a shot.
that.
I know that I can do the right thing. It's just hard.
It is hard to do the right thing, but In the long run, what do you think is better? To continue using or to try to get on the right path?
To get on the right path, but that's not always fun.
No, it isn't, but life isn't always fun. I mean, it's just that's how life is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to try it, see what happens.
Well, good. And also, maybe you could think of something that can help motivate you, and maybe even think about new people that you could go to for support. When you start feeling like you need to use, when you start feeling that need, someone you could call to kind of distract you from it.
Okay.
Do you have a girlfriend or anybody that you could talk to, or
Yeah, I'm sure I can figure out somebody.
you think you could come up with two people? That way, in case one is busy or doesn't answer the phone, there's someone else you can call.
Yeah, I'll give it some thought.
And, you can also call the crisis line if it ever gets too bad.
Okay. That's something to consider too.
Okay, good. Well, I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.